Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the city of Pasadena, Texas, 6 o'clock, our council meeting. We have Pastor Rodwell Thorne. Tom, is he here? I see you, sir. Leads invocation, and Councilman Caton, you'll be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody, please stand.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we thank you that you are our creator, redeemer, and sustainer. And we thank you that you are more ready to listen to us than we are to speak, and you are more ready to give than we are to ask. Today we ask your blessings on the mayor and all the members of this council and all people who have been elected or called to lead our city, Pasadena, in which we live and work and play. We ask for all gathered here today who will speak, deliberate, or make decisions, for open hearts, listening ears, and compassionate responses to the needs of our city. You remind us in your word, O Lord, that we are each other's neighbors, and so we ask that you instill in us a spirit of service, a spirit of community building, and a spirit of openness and respect for all people. Indeed, Lord, we pray for the people of Pasadena, for all the people who have lived here all their life, for people who have traveled here to make this place their home. We ask that our city leaders continue to foster respect for all peoples and to protect the least amongst us, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in body, mind, or spirit, the strangers and the immigrants in our midst, those who live on the margins, those who live alone, those who are forgotten, and as well as those who serve in various capacities in our city, especially our police officers, our emergency response teams, teachers, businessmen and women, all those who work for the good of the city. And so as we seek to build and develop and strengthen our city, grant, O Lord, the city council the wisdom and the courage to know and to do what is right and good and true. Grant us, O Lord, to speak when we need to speak and to listen when we need to listen. And above all, Lord, guide us that we may build a city of justice, peace, where everyone can discover fulfillment and meaning in life. And we pray this prayer, trusting in your word and standing in your promises, in the holy name of God who gave us his son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledges to our flags.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Mr. Caton.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. These were the words spoken by Commander Neil Armstrong when he stepped off the Apollo 11 spacecraft named Eagle onto the moon. Today, July the 16th, 50 years ago, the Saturn V rocket was launched from the platform at Cape Kennedy, Florida, and began the Apollo 11 mission that reached its destination on the moon on July the 20th, 1969. As a 24-year-old engineer, I was fortunate enough to have worked on this mission with some of the world's greatest minds on one of man's greatest adventures. I was employed by the Boeing Company at that time, helped build the first stage of the Saturn V rocket that lifted the rocket off the launch platform. I was in my third year of working on this program at that time at the Michoud Assembly Facility in New Orleans, Louisiana. My name, along with all the great people that worked to accomplish this mission of landing the first man on the moon, is enshrined in both the Library of Congress and the Smithsonian Institute. If you ever want to look up my name, go to Washington, go to those places. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
There it is.
Mr. Bass.
He said he built that part right there.
Somewhere. It made it. Good job. Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. We've got a sea of blue. We've got light blue and dark blue. So I'm glad to see everybody's smiling face out there. Leroy Stanley, glad to see you here. And I want to say I'm going to miss Miss Pat Riley. She's same age as my mom, and we'll dearly miss her. With that, I pass.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Shinban.
Okay, 50th anniversary. Guys, I was 8 years old when we landed on the moon. And I'll tell you what, that moon landing was one of the most inspiring times of our nation, that we all were behind each other and gathered around the TV and watched a truly remarkable moment for all of mankind. I, too, would like to send out my condolences to Miss Pat Riley and her family. Her services will be Thursday, and she will be greatly missed in this city. Very thankful we were able to not encounter Hurricane Barry and some of the floodwaters. We still have a lot of flood mitigation work that we need to work on here in Pasadena, and hopefully this will give us a reprieve to continue to work on those projects. Let's see, Leroy Stanley, how you doing this evening? And Miss Pat Van Hout, how are y'all this evening? Welcome. And I want to also honor with some words to our Pasadena Volunteer Fire Department. I was fortunate and blessed to be at your service, your graduation service, along with Councilmember Lehman and Mayor Wagner and our city secretary and Judge Rourke. So it was quite the event, and thank you for your services. To all of our first responders, our city marshals, our police officers, thank you for everything that you do. You're greatly appreciated. And then finally, we have a event going on at what we call the Barn over on Red Bluff. It's an opportunity for citizens to buy confiscated or impounded cars at a very low discounted price. So it's Saturday at 9 a.m. Get there early with your checkbooks and cash, and take away a good ride for little to nothing. So thank y'all, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Ibarra.
Let me thank the volunteer firefighters for their service and coming out to the council meeting. I want to congratulate Councilmember Don Harrison on being Mayor Pro Tem and Councilmember Shobine second year. Also, I want to wish Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Don Harrison a happy birthday. He turns 80 years old tomorrow. Don was born in 1939. And so I was out of town this weekend, and I happened to come across something, and I was thinking of Don, and it said, "Remember 1939." So some fun facts about 1939. A new house cost you $3,800 in 1939. A new car was $700. A movie ticket was 25 cents. Gasoline was 10 cents a gallon, and you could buy a postage stamp for 3 cents each. Coffee was 40 cents a pound. But all joking aside, happy birthday, Don. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. That'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Liebman.
Don, I want to wish you a happy birthday also.
Thank you.
First thing I want, Pat Riley was a member of the city council. As I think everyone knows, she was killed in a tragic accident, and my condolences go out to her entire family. Want to mention something for the Neighborhood Network, because if I don't, I'll be in trouble. The Neighborhood Network's holding their Team Up to Clean Up September 6th and 7th. The deadline to submit an application is at the end of July, so if you are a neighbor or you know someone that needs assistance with home repair, yard cleanup, you can contact the Neighborhood Network at 713-920-7948. And as Councilman Shanebine said, the fire department cadet class graduated last Thursday. I want to thank all these gentlemen for volunteering and serving the city of Pasadena. One other thing I'd like to mention, Queens Park got some improvements recently. We now have a light out there, which I appreciate. There's a water fountain out there that citizens had requested, and I want to thank the Parks Department for that. And I was driving down Shaver today, and thank you, Public Works. All the little potholes and big cracks in Shaver from Allendale to Spencer have now been filled in, and want to thank Public Works for taking care of that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to express my condolences to the Pat Raleigh and her family. And I'm going to give the date is July the 18th, this Thursday at 11 a.m. The funeral will be at Forest Park, Lawndale, and the burial will be right afterwards. But I knew them for many years. I served on the council with Harry for 8 years. And Pat and I and Harry went to the National League of Cities. We had enjoyable times. We enjoyed each other's company. And then she got elected in the 90s. And she served as a council member for 8 years. So that family has dedicated themselves to the city for 16 years, both of them. And Pat, they both did a lot of community events in the city. And Deborah and Danny, her children, I got close to them. Deborah was head of the permit department for a few years. And it's just a great family, and it's tragic, but I'm going to really miss them. I knew them real well. And it's true my birthday is tomorrow. I hope not. I don't mention my age anymore. The little guy over here, he's been there 8 years. He got reelected. I've been mentoring him real well. He's learned a lot from me, but that he didn't learn from me. But the background, I was born in Abilene, Texas, and something ironic, I was born in a house on Grape Street, and I was the youngest of 5 kids. And the doctor that brought me in was named Dr. Saul Estes. You might have heard of him. His brother was named Billy Saul Estes in Abilene, Texas. But that's a little history there. We've been here since '52, and I'm very proud of Pasadena, and I'm very proud to serve the citizens of Pasadena. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Casados.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here. I, too, want to wish Mr. Don Harrison a happy birthday and congratulations on Mayor Pro Tem and Councilman Shane for his 2nd year. So well, congratulations to both of you. I wanted to say that I went to a couple of neighborhood network meetings with the Deepwater Neighborhood Association and the Pasadena Northeast Group. And Officer Trey Marshall was there, and the city is currently starting a new program to where people can go to to Trey Marshall and ask and give him information on things that you're having issues with in your neighborhood, whether it be people speeding, needing speed bumps, people littering on the corner of your road or your street. These are all programs. This is a new program that citizens can call the police department, get in contact with Mr. Marshall, and make these complaints. That way they can track them, and whenever they can track them and things are brought up over and over again, they send police officers out there to look at the situation and see if they can't fix the problem. So I do want to thank the police department and Mr. Trey Marshall for getting that going. It's a great thing, and Mayor, if you implemented that, thank you very much.
Yes, sir, you bet.
It's a good program for the citizens. Other thing, looks like Preston is almost done there around the Kroger right there off of Red Bluff and Preston. So projects are going along in District C and D. So I want to thank Public Works for that. And I do lastly want to send out my condolences as well to the Riley family. Miss Pat Riley was a sweetheart. I mean, she came to these meetings, and for the age she was, the amount of energy she had to come up here and want to spend her time being part of city government, that was, I believe, a passion that she had. And she always just wanted to be here doing that. And she was always trying to give advice. She's always give advice, and she'd always pull me to the side by the shoulder. What are you doing? She'd always yell at me or tell me something, but I appreciated that because you know what? She cares. And that's the what makes the fiber, I believe, of the citizens of Pasadena is because we do care, and we are a community that is strong, and we pray for one another and are united, and so I just want to send my condolences to that family. So with that, I pass, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. You bet. Councilman Wheeler.
Thank you, Mayor. On that note, you know, it's sad to see Mrs. Riley pass. She was such an integral part of our community. I remember I spoke with her on many occasions, and one of the stories she told me more than once, was that when she first moved to Pasadena, she was a little girl still in grade school, and at that time, Pasadena was growing. It was very agriculture, some industry coming in, a lot of people moving, and kind of a negative term that would be used for people that were kind of coming through for work was you're a transient, and they would call Miss Riley, oh, you're a transient. And I think that hurt her feelings. And she continued to stay in Pasadena. She decided to raise her family and get married and serve on city council. And I think one of the things that she really wanted to impress upon me was that she was now part of the fabric of this community, and that was really important to her. And that's, like I said, she would tell me that quite often. So I know that she found a home here. I know that she became part of this community. She made a lot of friends, and she was always very active. Everybody knew Mrs. Riley, and like Councilman Casado said, she was never afraid to give you her opinion or her take on things. That's one of the things that we're going to miss about her and love about her. So we're just going to miss her. To the firefighters, thank you all so much. I can't tell you how much of an asset you are to the city, how valuable you are, not only because you're in there, the ones running into burning buildings, but the impact that you have on the finances of the city, how much you help the taxpayer, how much value you add to the city. It cannot be expressed enough. So thank you so much for everything you do, and I hope to see you here for 30, 40 years retired. And anything that we can do as a council, anything I can do, please let me know, because we got your back 100%. And happy birthday to Don Harrison, 80 years old. I know, Phil, you were a young man when they landed on the moon, and I think Don, yeah, and Don, you're a young man when they invented electricity. So we got a lot of, no, but so.
For this,
no,
okay.
I know. 80 years, Don. You've seen the world.
Okay.
You've seen the world change a lot. The United States. You've seen a lot of things happen throughout history. I know you always give us a history lesson, but yeah. So we appreciate that. Happy birthday. That'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Okay, citizens wishing to speak to council. Ms. Jane Starks.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for all that you do for our city and all the improvements that have been going on. I am Jane Starks, and I have a dream. I have been wanting to start a daycare center for quite some time. We've been looking at community properties in Pasadena. We haven't been able to find anything that has met city code because of children being present. We did find one location actually on Fairmont, and it did have a fire alarm system, but it didn't have a sprinkler system, which is required. And the owner was not willing to help us do that. And so we were not able to go into that property. We've also looked at daycare centers. There's a few for sale, but all of them are over $500,000. So that was not part of our budget. So our last option was to open up our home, just being my husband and I, and that we would have a licensed home daycare. I've been in daycare industry for 33 years. I've loved children. I love what I do, and I'm very good at what I do. And so we've met all of our daycare regulations. They're ready to come and open us up and give us our permit. We've applied for our occupancy permit. We've actually passed all of our inspections except for 2. The fire marshal has to come back. He's already approved our plan, but we have one thing that a minor thing that we have to take care of. The other issue was with our planning department, and they're requiring for us to have 8 parking spaces in front of our house. And if I pulled up my whole yard and I derooted my big old pecan tree, I still would not have all this parking, just like most people wouldn't have at their residential home. And so we have been talking back and forth, and I have not been able to have anyone to show me the city code for daycare home license. And so I would like to see that because I would like to know what is required. But I'm also talked to the permit department last week, and they said I was in the commercial part of daycare, but I don't understand that since I don't have a commercial property, I don't have a commercial location, and I don't have a commercial parking lot in front of my house, and I don't have the clientele or the traffic that someone would have in a situation like that. I know that it's important for us to have parking for those situations because I've been there, and I do know that I can file a variance. I'm willing to do that, but I found out this week that actually.
Ms. Starks, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Ms. Eubanks?
I hope y'all know why I'm here. Fill the Bus starts next week. On Monday, we start collecting school supplies for the children of Pasadena. On August the 1st, we will have a school bus parked out in front of City Hall where we will put all the school supplies that we collect. And so I hope everyone will participate, and you will encourage others to participate. And Councilman Casadas and Councilman Bass won the coloring contest. So they're going to get a prize. So if you know anybody that can share their school supplies with us, come on out on August the 1st. We'll be here on the steps of City Hall collecting school supplies. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eubanks. Mr. Jeter?
Good evening, Councilman. First, I want to say happy birthday to Don Harrison. Condolences for the family of Pat Riley. Congratulations to our cadets, and commend Councilman Caton on his work on Apollo 11. After last council meeting, I want to take the opportunity to clarify some things. Webster has 2 definitions for the word coup. A sudden, violent, and illegal seizure of power from government is the first one. The city of Pasadena's government is not any less powerful than it was before last meeting, and I saw no violence. In fact, we have wonderful officers of the city of police department here to prevent violence and respond to any should it ever take place in these chambers. The second definition is a notable or successful stroke or move. That definition seems more applicable, but comes with a complementary context. Additionally, if a walking quorum were to have happened, the proper way to handle that would be to take the evidence to the DA's office and let them sort it out. As we have learned from other events in recent history, innocent until proven guilty is how the American justice system was founded. To state that council members are guilty of such without having been convicted is inaccurate without using allegedly in the terminology. Each of you are duly elected city officials serving at the will of your respective council districts by collective majority of voters in those districts. I would respectfully ask each of you to be mindful so as to not insult the respective will of another council district for council votes simply not going the way you want them to, as each of you hopefully work in good faith for the betterment of your districts individually and collectively for the city of Pasadena. Thank you for the time, council.
Thank you. Chief Armstrong.
Mayor, council, it's indeed an honor this evening. I've got a couple of presentations to make and introductions to make. First of all, This is an important evening for the city of Pasadena and the Pasadena Fire Department. As you can see, we've got quite a turnout here. There were quite a few people instrumental in this, but this evening Pasadena is receiving from the Insurance Service Office a public protective classification of Class 1, which is quite an event. There are a lot of people responsible for this, a lot of good people. I want to single out a few of them. First of all, Robin Green's group in engineering was instrumental in assisting us with achieving this Class 1 classification. Number 2 was Ricky Helton, who just retired. Ricky was instrumental in helping us with the water department, which is a very important factor in obtaining this Class 1. And then David Brannon was actually, our fire marshal, was instrumental in coordinating all of these events. So David really did a great job bringing all this together. This is really going to result in some reduced insurance for our commercial properties as well as residential. It's an important aspect of fire protection in the city of Pasadena, and now it's our job to protect it. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Hugh Gibson from the Insurance Service Office. He's got a few words to speak.
Thanks, Chief. Mayor, Council, I am also a retired fire chief, and I'm at awe of your fire protection system, Chief. It's really fantastic what you're able to do with your folks, the coverage of the area that you have, the commercial buildings that you protect, the residential areas. It's just fantastic. As you may know, the public protection classifications are there's over 45,000 fire protection districts across the country, and where we go in and do the same thing, look at the fire protection system, we consider all aspects, and generally speaking, better protection transcends into a lower public protection classification. We use a schedule that's filed in all the states. It's called the Fire Suppression Rating Schedule. We utilize other national standards, the National Fire Protection Association, American Water Works, and APCO on the communication side to utilize those standards where communities measure up. Within the schedule, there's 100 points. If you score between 90 and 100 points, you're a Class 1, which you are, which is really incredible. Across the country, there are about 380 Class 1s out of 45,000. So you can see just how special this accomplishment is and how rare it is. Now, within Texas, I'm proud to say, is the most progressive state in fire protection with the Class 1s. We have 70 Class 1s. But out of all the communities in Texas, that is, incredible as well. The system, the schedule itself, we look at what happens from when someone dials 911 for a structure fire. What happens? Who gets the call? Who responds? What kind of water's there? And we look at all aspects. Out of that 100 points, it's broken down in the categories as well. 10% is communications. Years ago, we used to look at mostly like the phone lines and hardware type of equipment. Now, the communications and all the aspects are very performance-based. How fast are your folks answering that 911 call? How fast are you getting the chief's folks, responding to that structure fire? And within that 10 points, I could ask a question, but I am proud to say you got all 10 of them. You just hit it out of the park there. It's just fantastic. Did I get the hook?
You got the hook, but he didn't speak his full 3 minutes, so go ahead, sir.
Okay. On the fire department side, you got, it's 50 points, and you scored almost 44 points out of those points. That's looking at not just the equipment, but the personnel, the deployment, where the stations are within your 52 square miles. All that's real important, and how not only that the folks are there, how well are they trained? So really important. The water supply is 40%. Again, what a great score, 39 points out of that 40. And not just looking at what kind of water's there, how dependable is it on the flow testing and all like that the water department does. And then at the end, we also add in a community risk reduction, your fire prevention efforts on code enforcement, public education, and fire investigation. There's an additional 5.5 points there available, and you scored 5.39. So just a little off, my gosh. And keep in mind, as you look at the schedule, these are high benchmarks. These are really not, again, out of 45,000, only being 300 and some, these are really high benchmarks. So the accomplishments you have here, you can really see are very incredible. So at the end, you ended up with 97.30. So if you had a 90.01, you're a class 1, but you just knocked it again off the charts there. Really great job, very close to 100 points, and it really is a testament to the fire department, the water, communications, and all the stakeholders that made that possible. So again, honored to be here as well, and congratulations. You really did an incredible job.
Mr. Williams, are you going to talk next before we clap? Please, go ahead.
Chief Williams, I'm sorry.
I can't wait to stand up and clap, but go ahead.
Good evening. I'm from the State Fire Marshal's Office, Texas Department of Insurance, and the state thinks this is a big deal. We're here to acknowledge the fact that it is, and a lot of folks think this is a fire department rating, but it's actually a community-wide rating, and I think everyone here that you see to acknowledge this Class 1 rating is from the fire department, the water supply, the 911 communications center, and we'd like to have them all come up when we get done and for pictures and things. But I think what Skip is trying to say is you're part of the 1%. To have 45,000 communities in the United States rated and only have 380 or so, same thing for Texas. To have 70 Class 1s, there's 50 states, 70 Class 1s in Texas. We're progressive. The cities are striving to achieve that Class 1. It's quite an honor, and we're here to acknowledge that. This is good. I think you should be proud of the job that the folks are doing. The citizens are live and work in a safer community. And the statistics show that the better the ISO rating, the bigger the reduction in loss of life and property when a fire does occur. This is good for the citizens of Pasadena and good for the insurance industry. It's one thing to say you're a Class 1 community. It's another to have a third party come in and evaluate your community and say, Pasadena is a Class 1 community. And you should be proud of that. I know the citizens are proud of it. We want to encourage you to let all of the officials know within your district and all the citizens of the new Class 1 rating, and also the effective date of August the 1st, 2019. And on behalf of the Commissioner of Insurance, Ken Sullivan, and State Fire Marshal Orlando Hernandez, I'd like to officially approve your Class 1. We failed to mention that ISO makes a recommendation in Texas, and the Texas Department of Insurance either approves or denies that recommendation. And we're here to approve that Class 1 recommendation. So we would like to have the mayor come down at this time. Anyone from the fire department, anyone from the water supply, the 911 communication, come on down.
Now we can clap.
come in here? Yeah, I think so. Just assume the position. We split it up.
Let me move over to the left.
You get right in the we'll hold this. Let's get right. Come on.
Wide angle lens.
What are you doing tonight? Chill out. Maybe. Working in the morning.
All right.
One more.
Thank you, sir.
This is the fun part of it. Congratulations.
Councilman, congratulations.
Austin. He was had a car party, auto parts. Get cars without it. Congratulations.
Again, wow.
Thank you so much.
Before we go to a docket hearing, Councilman Shanebine, would you mind giving an announcement real quick?
As council members, we failed to mention one significant event that's going to take place this Sunday. Sunday morning at 7 a.m., a moment that we've all been waiting for. We will be, as a city, imploding the First Pasadena State Bank, or what will be known as the First Pasadena State Bank. So traffic will be rerouted. Please go to our website, City of Pasadena website. There's information on parking and what streets will be closed. But Sunday morning, 7 a.m., weather permitting, everything goes right. We will no longer have an eyesore or an iconic figure on the corner of Southmore and Pasadena Boulevard. I was going to call it Tartar. So, but times are changing, and we look forward to the fresh new start for that parcel of land. So thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Okay, with that, we're going to call to a public hearing for the proposed 2020 Crime Control and Prevention District budget. Anybody here want to speak? Going once? Anybody here want to speak for the Crime Control and Prevention District budget hearing? Going twice? Anyone else? This meeting's closed, and we'll go right back to City Council, which brings us to presentation of minutes, July 2nd, 2019, 10 a.m. Motion Casados, second by Wheeler. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Brings us down to progress payments. Motion Shanebine, second Lehman. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Brings us down to financial resolutions. Motion Casados. Second Harrison. Any questions?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
I want to abstain in regards to Bass Meineke.
Okay, sir. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes. Brings us down to personnel changes. A. Motion Lehman. Second Bass. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. We have one no. Casados. Brings us down to, Madam Secretary, to final readings.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 2019-99, grant totaling $128,536 from the Office of the Governor of Texas for the fiscal year 2019 Urban Area Security Initiative, Homeland Security Grant Program for the continuation of the Regional Fusion Analyst. Ordinance 2019-100, grant totaling $66,000 from Office of the Governor of Texas for fiscal year 2019 Urban Area Security Initiative, Homeland Security Grant Program for the Pasadena SWAT Sustainment Project. Ordinance 2019-101, grant totaling $100,000 from Office of the Governor of Texas for fiscal year 2019 Urban Area Security Initiative Homeland Security Grant Program for the next phase of the Pasadena Video Initiative Project. Ordinance 2019-102, grant totaling $278,765.05 from Office of the Governor of Texas for fiscal year 2019 Urban Area Security Initiative Homeland Security Grant Program for Emergency Operations Center Enhancements. Ordinance 2019-103, contract with Belt Harris Pahachek LLP, Certified Public Accountants for auditing services for the year ending September 30, 2019, and optional 2020. Ordinance 2019-104, purchase of Motorola radios, radio management licenses, and associated accessories from Motorola Solutions, Inc., $319,369.26. Ordinance 2019-105, contract with J.A. Costanza and Associates Engineering for design services for the Thomas Avenue paving and drainage improvements Phase 2 project from Burrell Street to Allister Drive, CIP S109 for a total appropriation $94,466.50 to be funded by the 2008 Street Bond Fund account. And Ordinance 2019-106. I approve the proposal from Gallagher Benefit Services, Inc. to review and renegotiate PBM contract for pharmacy consulting services.
So moved. So moved by Bass. Second Lehman. Any questions?
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
I'd just like to make a comment on Ordinance 2019-105. We're getting some pavement work done on Thomas. It's in District D. I want to thank the administration and Public Works for getting that done. It's something that's been needed for a long time. Last year we started Thomas from Preston, went down to Burrell Street. Now we're going to take it a little bit further, go to Allister, so it's a good thing is happening. I would like to urge the administration to look into Tilden Road, finish that other half that we started with the other last administration. I've been to get a lot of phone calls on that, so if you would, I appreciate this, by the way. Tilden Road, if we could, next would be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All in favor? Any opposed? Madam Secretary brings us down to first readings.
Ordinance 2019-107, interlocal agreement with Harris County to provide the services of a youth service specialist.
Motion Lehman. Second Harrison. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-108, agreement with Grant Works, Inc., not to exceed $165,000 over the period of 1 year for services related to professional management services for Home Investment Partnerships Program.
Motion Bass. Second by Caton. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-109, grant the franchise to Pasadena Performance Products LP for 16-inch refined petroleum products pipeline.
Motion Wheeler. Second Ibarra. Any questions?
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
As we continue to have pipelines through the city of Pasadena, I strongly encourage that we do all of our due diligence, making sure that the area that's worked on is restored to the conditions that it was before the pipelines were installed.
Yes, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-110, extend annual contracts with AutoNation, Ford, Gulf Freeway, and Monument Chevrolet for purchase of automotive repair parts and supplies.
Motion Lehman.
Second.
Second Shanebine. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-111, extend the annual contract with Allen and Kerber Auto Supply for purchase of automotive repair parts aftermarket.
Motion Casados. Second, was that Harrison? Oh, Ibarra. Sorry. Ibarra. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, sir.
There's key two words here, aftermarket. Let me explain what aftermarket is. That's parts that they purchase in Brazil. Aftermarket, it's not market. And you don't have the warranty with it, and the parts are generally cheaper, but they're also not the best part. So that's why we're getting the aftermarket parts. Again, no warranty on our new trucks and everything. The dealer has a warranty, but if we have to place the parts of the dealer that are not under warranty, the city's not covered. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome, sir.
Mayor, can I speak to that?
Yes, sir.
Aftermarket parts are OE specs, which is original equipment. They can't be put out without being original equipment. They do have a warranty. So that's all I've got to say.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm glad you cleared it up. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes.
Ordinance 2019-112, extending the annual contract with A1DTS Corporation for automotive and light truck transmission repair or exchange services.
Motion.
Motion Wheeler, second, was that Bass? Any questions?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
Aftermarket is still not a General Motors product, and you don't get a warranty. I pass.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-113, annual contract with Stripes and Stops Company, Inc. for traffic pavement marking services.
Motion.
Motion Shanebine, second Wheeler. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-114, annual contract with Southwest Signal Supply, Inc. for traffic signature, maintenance, repair, and emergency services.
Motion.
Motion Casados, second by Lehman. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-115, contract with Management Advisory Group International, Inc. to conduct a compensation and classification study.
Motion.
Motion Shanebine, second Harrison. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-116, an ordinance authorizing the Pasadena Parks and Recreation Department to accept $4,630 for a Crush It Crusade grant from the Candid Aid Foundation.
So moved.
Motion Bass, second by Casados. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-117, annual contract with Municipal Emergency Services, Inc. for purchase of Scott's self-contained breathing apparatus and accessories, including replacement parts, maintenance, testings, and repairs.
Motion.
Motion Lehman, second by Shanebine. Any questions?
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
I think this is a great example, having our new fire cadets here and our first responders. This city council believes in our first responders, and we're going to provide you the best equipment that our citizens can provide. And you know, we know that you have our back and we have y'all's back. So thank you for your service.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-118, annual contract with SNS Investigations and Security, Inc. for City Hall site security services.
Motion.
Motion Casados, second by Ibarra. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-119, contract with H.R. Green, Inc. for design services for Bay Area Boulevard Water System Pressure Improvements Project CIP W062 for a total appropriation $141,670 from the System CIP Fund Balance Account.
Motion.
Motion Wheeler, second Harrison. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance number 2019-120, contract with Edminster Henshaw Russ and Associates, Inc. for design services for the Drainage Mitigation Flood Warning System Project, CIP DMFW, for a total appropriation $60,000 from the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program account.
Motion.
Motion Shanebine, second Bass. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance number 2019-121, contract with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc. for environmental assessment of Partnership Park Annex drainage improvements and the Golden Acres detention projects, CIP DO39 and DO44, for a total appropriation $10,000 from the 2005 Drainage Bond Fund account.
Motion, second. That was Caton, second by Wheeler. Any questions?
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
Just like to mention, this environmental assessment is for 2 detention basins. One is in the Spencer Village subdivision, the front part of it, where we bought out some homes, FEMA did a few years ago, and also in the Bliss Meadows subdivision, the front part of the subdivision, we're going to put a detention basin there. where FEMA bought out those homes there. So this is the environmental assessment for that. The engineering is ongoing, and when all of this gets ironed out, then we'll be able to go in there and construct these detention basins. Without a pass.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-122, contract with Heidecker Land Services, Inc. for professional services in connection with Golden Acres Detention Project, SAB PD 044, for a total appropriation $18,350 from the 2005 Drainage Bond Fund account.
Motion.
Motion Caton, second Wheeler. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-123, contract with Porterfield Architects and Associates LLC for architectural services for Fire Station Number 6 Project CIP FO11 for a total appropriation $40,000 from the 2017 Certificate of Obligation Fund Balance Account.
Motion.
Motion Shanebine, second by Caton. Any questions?
Mayor.
You go, sir.
Mayor. On these, the next first reading as well is going to be on Fire Station 7. With both of these, it's Fire Station 6 and Fire Station 7. We're allocating money to do more or less for surveys and feasibility studies to replace those fire stations. Want to thank our fire chief, Lanny Armstrong, and all the other chiefs and city individuals that are making this possible. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Porterfield Architects and Associates. They're long times Pasadena. The dad was the architect. This is the son. And they were architects on 3 and 4, and I'm real proud of 3 and 4, especially in my district number 3. So I have complete confidence in the architects. They're going to build some beautiful buildings like they did in 3 and 4, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance 2019-124, contract with Porterfield Architects and Associates LLC for architectural services for Fire Station Number 7, Project CIP FO14, for a total appropriation $40,000 from the 2017 Certificate of Obligation Fund Balance Account.
Motion.
Motion Wheeler, second by Bass. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Madam Secretary, brings us down to resolutions.
Resolution 2019-102, approve fiscal year 2019-2020 budget of the Pasadena Crime Control and Prevention District.
Motion.
Motion Shanebine, second by Harrison. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Resolution 2019-103, approve and adopt the 2019 Annual Action Plan authorizing the filing of application to U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Community Development Grant Programs, Community Development Block Grant, Emergency Solution Grants, and Home Investment Partnerships Program.
Motion by Lehman, second by Casados. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Madam Secretary, we're going to defer C. Let's go to D.
Okay. Resolution 2019-104, accept donation of snacks and door prizes valued at $192 from Signature Select Services for Madison Job Senior Center Bingo.
Motion Casados, second by Ibarra. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Resolution 2019-105, accept donation of lunches valued at $200 from United Healthcare Medicare Solutions for the Madison Job Senior Center monthly lunch and movie event.
Motion Casados, second by Wheeler. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Madam Secretary, if you'll hand out those letters, please. Councilman, as the city secretary is handing out letters, it's a letter for a veto of the mayor pro tem vote we had last time. The gotcha games has got to be over. We had to be on the page. Motions need to be talked about way before we get in this building here, please. So let's all work together and make this city a better place. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank y'all so much.